So my name is Sir Haris Bhatt, and you are seeing my YouTube channel, Learn Accounting with Sir Haris. Today we are going to solve the chapter of company accounts from O-level accounting 7707 and IGCSE 0452. So we are going for O-level accounting, and the chapter we are doing is company accounts. So today we are going to solve a question of company accounts, which has come in October-November 23 variant, which includes the preparation of income statement or statement of profit and loss and statement of changes in equity. Let's do it. तो सबसे पहले आपका आता है that B Limited provides cleaning services to client offices and factories. The client provide their own cleaning materials. The trial balance of B Limited in 30th June was as follows. Trial balance दिया हुआ revenue, wages and salaries are given. Obviously, they are expenses, motor expenses, insurance, general expenses, motor vehicle, depreciation, equipment, trade receivable, bank, share capital, general reserve, retained earnings, and dividend paid on ordinary share is already given in the question. Revenue 9240 are received in advance. So that is basically known as income received in advance. That is the revenue which has received in advance. That is unearned income. And unearned income means that income received but not earned. Income received but not earned. That is known as unearned income. Income received but not earned. So that should not be a part of the income. So you need to subtract that income from the revenue. The revenue was received in advance 9240. You have to subtract that amount from revenue, that is 135040. Then you will get the amount of the revenue, which should be written in the statement of profit and loss. Insurance charge for the 12 month on 31st December was 7200, and for the 12 months to 31st December is 7440. On 1st January 2023, insurance was paid in full for the 12 month to 31st December 2023. Is the point I am going to discuss the point number 2. I'm going to leave it. We will do it afterwards. I'm going forward. Accrued general expenses at 30th June were 186. These are the general expenses accrued, so they will be added in the general expense. Depreciation is charged on motor vehicle at 25% using reducing balance method. You will subtract the depreciation first from motor vehicle, like here 42,000 minus 16,500, and then you will calculate depreciation on the book value at the rate of 25%. Depreciation on equipment is to be charged at 20% using straight line method. So depreciation on equipment is given 5,000, and as it is supposed to be depreciated by straight line method, so I will calculate depreciation on 5,000 at the rate of 20%, which will become 1,000. No dividend were outstanding. 1,000 is to be transferred to general reserve. That will be subtracted from retained earnings and will be added in general reserve in statement of changes in equity. So this is going to be the question. Now let's discuss about point number 2. The insurance charge for the 12 months to 31st December was 7,200. Our financial year ends on 30th June. Sir, how you will be able to know this? You need to read the first line. The trial balance of B Limited at 30th June was as follows. So it means that our financial year starts from 1st July 2022 and ends on 30th June 2023. Mariam, you should have a calculator with you, and another student should have a calculator because you need to go for the calculation also for me. So insurance for the 12 month to 31st December 2022 was 7,200. It means that 6 months period of this 7,200, which is for 12 months, falls in our financial year, because our financial year starts on 1st July 2022 and ends on 30th June 2023. So 7,200 into 6/12 will be our insurance for 6 months in the current year, that is 3,600. And for the 12 months to 31st December 2023, the insurance is 7,440. So 50% of this again is going to be the insurance for the current year. So 3,600 plus 50% of this, whatever it will become, will be added in 3,600 to get the insurance expense figure. On 1st January 2023, insurance was paid in full for the 12 month to 31st December 2023. On 1st January 2023, he completely agreed that we have paid, the insurance was paid in full for the 12-month period to 31st December. It means that the 6-month insurance is also prepaid because we have paid the insurance from January till 31st December, although our financial year basically starts from 1st July 2022 till 30th June 2023. So this is going to be a difficult part, which the students are not able to understand this particular part. So 6 months insurance, which will be apart from 1st July to 31st December. The total 12 months insurance is 7,200. 50% of this is 3,600. And from 31st December or 1st January to 30th June, the insurance is for the 12 month to 31st December 2023 is 7,440. So if you just calculate 7,440, 50% of this, what is going to become? 7,440 divided by 2, how much it will come? Yes, 3,720. That's right. So 3,720. If we will add these two, that will be the insurance expense which should be written in the statement of profit and loss. But we can do like that 7,440 is already added in insurance. So it means that 3,720 of the next 6 months, which basically belongs to 30th June 2023 till 31st December 2023, which will again become 3,720, is prepaid. So I can either I can subtract from insurance 3,720, or I will add 3,600 plus 3,720 to find the total amount of insurance. Both patterns, both things can be adopted. It's up to you. You can adopt both of the patterns. Either 11,1040 minus 3,720, you will get the answer because 6 months are prepaid, or 3,600 plus 3,720, you will get the answer. So what is the insurance expense? If you can, if I want you to tell me what is going to be the insurance expense? Thank you. That is 7,320. Okay. So 7,320 is going to be the insurance expense. I just want to write it down because I just want to, solve the question in front of you, which will make it easy for all of us. So let's prepare the statement of profit and loss, which is an important part of the question. And I will go with the dollar sign. Obviously, spelling of for is wrong. That doesn't matter. I will start from revenue. Always remember that there is a revenue which has been received in advance, 135,040, and received in advance is 9,240. So what I'm going to do, 135,040 minus 9,240. Remember this, that this revenue which is received in advance, 9,240, will also be written in the statement of financial position as current liability. Why? Because we have received this amount, but we have not provided the services yet. So that is the revenue which is unearned. Income received but not earned. So 9,240 will be subtracted from 135,040. And thank you. And the answer is 125,800. Great. So let's cost of sales. Let's do the question, cost of sales. And here I'm going to write the first opening inventory, then add purchases, then less closing inventory, because there is no purchases return and there is no purchases return and sales return, and there is no carriage inward and carriage outward. So let's see what is the opening inventory. So opening inventory is not given in the question. Why? Because of the reason that the question is basically of the service business. So there will be no opening inventory because, as I discussed with you normally you were not a part of that particular class, that from now onwards, the questions of service business were not coming in O levels ever before 2020, because Service business questions has only come in igcse. They used to come in igcse. But now it has been the third time or the second time after 2021 that the question has come of a service business, once in sole trader, once in partnership, and once in company accounts. I mean to say, from 2021 till today, only 3 questions of service business has arrived in O levels. Once of a sole trader, once of a partnership, once of company accounts, which is right in front of you. Other than these 3 questions, service business questions has never come in O-level accounting ever before. So I have to subtract it down because there is not going to be any cost of sales. There is only revenue or income, and we will subtract expenses from the income to find the profit. So let's see that either we have some other income given in the question. There is no other income which is available in the question. So I will write less expenses, and that's it. Less expenses because it's a service business. So I will subtract expenses and I will get the answer. First of all, I'm going to write the insurance because we have already done with that. And that is going to be 7320. Okay. Either you will add 3600 plus 7320, makes sense, or you will subtract 3720, which is prepaid, from 11040. You will get the same answer, 7320. Next expenses, wages and salaries, 72,000. I think there are no accrued wages and salaries. So I will write directly over here, wages and salaries. And that is going to be 72,000. Okay. I hope so you are getting the point. It's a very, very logical and very, very technical question. Motor expenses are given 9820. Again, let me check it out that either we have been given some part of the motor expenses. No. So I will write motor expenses directly over here. Motor expenses 9820. 9820. So I've written the motor expenses also. Then insurance, we are done with that. General expenses are 12780. And in the question, it is written that there are accrued general expenses which is supposed to be added. 186. Outstanding, accrued, owing. So 12,780. Let me write it down. General expenses 12,780 plus 186, which you can tell me the answer, Roma. Thank you so much. 12966. Great. 12966. So that will be the answer of the general expenses. Let's talk about the other more expenses if given in the question. So there are 2 more expenses. One is depreciation on equipment. That is 20% under straight line method. Depreciation on equipment. And the depreciation equipment cost is 5,000 into 20%. So depreciation on equipment is 1,000. Why, sir? Because we are supposed to use the straight line method, 20% on equipment. Equipment cost is given 5,000. And we have to use the diminishing balance method, reducing balance method on motor vehicle, where we have a cost of 42,000 and the depreciation till now on motor vehicle is 16,500. 42,000 minus 16,500 and the depreciation rate is 25% using reducing balance method. So depreciation on motor vehicle, that is what is the amount? 42,000 minus 16,500 multiplied by 25%. So 42,000 minus 16,500 multiplied by 25%, you will get the answer of depreciation on motor vehicle under reducing balance method, that is 6375. 6375. Okay. Let's see if there is any other expense which is not yet recorded by us in the statement of profit and loss, or you might say income statement. So there is no other expenses because dividends are supposed to be recorded in statement of changes in equity as we used to do with the general reserve. So let's go for the total. Roma, we will go for the total of the expenses as it's a service business, and we will subtract the total of expenses from the revenue we will get the profit. So 109,481 is the total of expenses, 109,481, and the profit for the year is going to be 125,800 minus 109,481, 16319. So profit for the year is 16319. So we have calculated the profit for the year, that is 16319, and we are done with this with the statement of profit and loss. Now I have to prepare the statement of changes in equity because that is also required in the question. So I have to prepare the statement of changes in equity, and we know that it has a portion of ordinary share capital. Then we have a general reserve. We used to write general reserve. Then we have retained earnings, because that is the format we used to use. We are supposed to use, and then we are going to have the uh, total column required. Total column is also required, I think so, in the exam, in the question. So we'll go for the total column also. Let me check it out also. Let's see that what is the requirement. So we have prepared October, November 23 is the question which has come in the paper. Income statement, we are done with that. Only 6 marks are there. Statement of changes in equity, ordinary share capital, general reserve, retained earnings, and total column is also required. On 1st July 2022, we have a balance. Actually, let's see what is the balance of ordinary share capital, general reserve, and retained earnings. So if you just look at the question, the balance of ordinary share capital is written over here, 10,000. So let me write it down. I won't write the date actually. I will write just balance. It will work also. No matter if you want to, because you have to just write it inside that amount, 10,000. And the general reserve we are having already with us, 2,000, and retained earnings 13,490. So general reserve is 2,000 and retained earnings is 13,490. So let's go for the total also. Total is going to be 25,490. 25,490. Right? Now, what I will do, I will add profit, and you know that the profit is going to be added in retained earnings, because retained earning is the profit from the previous year, right? And profit for the current year is 16319. I will write in the retained earning column, and I will also write in the total column also, right? Then we are supposed to pay the dividends, and dividends are going to be subtracted again from the retained earnings. Dividend paid on ordinary share is 4,800. Sometimes the amount of dividend is not given in the question. We have to calculate that amount of dividend. But how? Per share dividend is given. We used to multiply it with the number of shares to find the amount of dividend. So that is also a possibility. But in this question, that has not been given. That's quite easy. Now, transfer to general reserve. We have basically transferred some amount to the general reserve, and that is going to be 1,000 is to be transferred to the general reserve. So what we'll do, it will be subtracted from retained earnings, because just the amount has been shifted from the retained earnings to the general reserve. And this is how we have done all the parts of the statement of changes in equity. Total column will not be affected because of the transfer of general reserve, because the total equity will remain the same. So ordinary share capital is going to be 10,000, and general reserve is going to be 3,000, and the retained earning column is going to be 24,009. And then you can go for the total also, and that is going to become now 37,009. And if you just do it through, either you will total it column wise or row wise, you will get the same answer. Means total will remain the same. Either you will get the total from column wise or from row wise. Total will remain the same. That is 37,009. I hope you understood it quite easily. This is going to be a quite easy and simple question, but in the exam, students have found this question very, very difficult. Why? Because they were not familiar with the service business, number one. And secondly, they were not familiar with the adjustment number 1 and 2. Because income received in advance and unearned income, that particular adjustment of unearned income also doesn't happen, used to happen, come so much in O-level accounting. But because it comes usually more often in IGCSE. So that question basically has transferred from IGCSE to O levels. Explain why B Limited has no inventory. You know that because it's a service business. So that's why B Limited doesn't have any inventory because he's not engaged in buying and selling of goods. B Limited does not require a provision for doubtful debt because he is engaged in service business. So there is no reason to have some doubtful debt because he provides his services and he takes the amount from the particular business or particular person. He provides cleaning services to cleaning offices and factories, right? So he is not giving any cleaning services to factories and offices on credit. So when you are not giving on credit, there is no trade receivables, so there is no reason to go for a provision for doubtful debts. The director of B Limited are also the shareholders. They plan to expand the company and they are considering whether to issue debenture or ordinary shares. Advise the director whether they should issue debenture or ordinary share. Justify your answer. I think we have discussed that point so often, but I will repeat it again. Debenture is a non-current liability. It has to be repaid after some time. And debenture also carries a fixed rate of interest, which has to be paid annual basis, and it will decrease profit. Obviously, it will result in the decrease in profit. Then the company has to show its financial statements to the bank. Then the bank will decide either to give us, issue us debenture, bank or whatever, from whom the loan has been taken, not the bank, sorry. Then we have to, maybe we have to give some collateral to that particular person or to get the loan. And if you go for the expansion and you are going to issue shares, then the issuance of share, it means that there will be more ownership in the business. Profit needs to be shared to those people to whom the shares are issued. Secondly, but the benefit is this, that we have to pay dividend to the ordinary shareholders rather than interest, but dividend will be paid only when there is going to be a profit. When there is not going to be, when the company is not having profit, we don't need to pay any kind of dividend on ordinary shares. So but dividend will fluctuate according to the profits of the business. If you just look at the question, currently we have not issued any kind of debentures right now in the question. Currently, we didn't issue any kind of debentures. So we can afford to issue debentures also because we are financing the project currently with the ordinary share capital. But if you just look at the position of the bank, we have enough cash in the bank, which is 19950. So it means that if you want to expand the business, issuance of share will be more feasible because more people will invest in the company. Our cleaning business will expand, right? More shareholders will come in the business, and maybe it will result in more capital, ordinary share capital, right? And we don't need to rely on a non-current liability. There is no increase in non-current liability. No interest is supposed to be paid. So I believe that we will go for the issue of ordinary shares because we are also having a healthy profit and we can afford to pay dividends also in this regard, right? So this is the question we have solved. I hope so you will understand the question properly. There will not be any problem. If you have any problem, you can ask me, Roma or Mariam, any problem. Roma, Mariam, I don't think so you have solved this question. This is some very, very new question. Rather, I must say that none of your student in your whole school have ever done this question before. Believe me. Believe me, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I'm telling you the truth. Because this is somehow or the other, this is some type of a new question. But you might consider it an easy question because now you have a good grip on the particular chapter. Yes. So if you have any problem, you can ask me. Have you done that question? Okay. Mariam is not here. So that's it. We are done with that. Thank you very much. Okay, then. Take care. Yes, thank you very much, Roma. It's an honor that you are one of my good students, inshallah ta'ala. And this recording will be uploaded soon. Great. Okay. Allah Hafiz. Take care.